Salutations from Wizard Studios. I am the Wizard. We have a lot to get into today. Cynthia Calvillo establishes herself as a top contender at women's flyweight. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, first up, Cynthia Calvillo defeats Jessica Eye by unanimous decision, and man, it wasn't even close. I mean, Cynthia Calvillo lost the first round. Yeah, she really didn't open up until the second round, but then when she opened up, she just ran away with it. She was outstriking her on the feet. She was taking her down at will, exposing her on the ground. I mean, boy, it really wasn't close, and that makes you wonder just how good can Cynthia Calvillo get, you know, when she's not killing herself to get down to straw weight. So, you know, she came in there and she really took it to Jessica Eye. I mean, when she opened up in that second round and just went across there and went after her, I was really surprised, because I thought Jessica Eye would just be bigger and stronger, but man, Cynthia Calvillo did not look weak in that fight, not even for 1 minute. And, you know, she did start slowing down in the fifth round, but I think she'll start, you know, getting used to carrying the extra weight, and her cardio will improve over time. I was really, really impressed with Cynthia Calvillo. I mean, she completely dominated that fight. And so, you know, Caitlin Chukagian called her out, and I would like to see that fight. I want to see how good Cynthia Calvillo can get at 125 pounds, because she completely outclassed Jessica Eye. So, you know, the sky's the limit for Cynthia Calvillo. A great win, and she looked good doing it. She completely dominated that fight. Good job for Cynthia Calvillo. Marvin Vittori versus Carl Roberson. I picked Marvin Vittori to win, but I thought this would be a lot closer of a fight. It was not even close. Marvin Vittori looked good on the feet, and as soon as he got him down, I mean, it wasn't even close. Marvin Vittori was all over him. He was peppering him with shots. Carl Roberson just did not have an answer for the ground game of Marvin Vittori, and he got him out of there, man, and he looked good doing it, and it makes you wonder, you know, who is going to be next for the Italian Dream, Marvin Vittori, because he is just running through these guys, you know, on the mediocre level of the UFC, you know, and saying that there's no mediocre fighters really in the UFC. But you know what I mean. You know, the middle of the road guys are not who Marvin Vittori needs to be fighting. He needs to be fighting top 15 guys that are really going to push him. And I really think he needs to fight a top 10 level guy, because I think Marvin Vittori is a top 10 middleweight. I think he needs to fight like a Jack Hermanson and see where he really is, because I think Marvin Vittori is right up there with those guys. I think the guy's big, strong, has good striking, has a really underrated ground game, and can compete with the very best middleweights in the division right now. This next one was a tough one. Kevin Aguilar versus Charles Boston Strong Rosa. Kevin Aguilar came out landing big shots, backing Charles Rosa up, but Charles Rosa bit down on the mouthpiece, came out in the second round, started landing some big kicks, started landing some big punches, more kicks, started going to the body, started going to the head with his kicks, and eventually slowed down Kevin Aguilar enough to land more shots and overwhelm Aguilar to get the decision. And I agree with it. It was a very close fight. One of the tougher fights to judge. But I agreed with this decision. And, man, how tough is Charles Rosa? Because Bryce Mitchell absolutely ran through him. And for him to make this quick of a turnaround, because I know his body was hurting after that Bryce Mitchell loss. And to come in here and take those big shots from Aguilar in the first round, and to rally in the second round, and in the third round to come and throw enough offense to get the decision, I was really impressed. I mean, this dude is tough. And his nickname, Boston Strong, I mean, the dude is tough as nails. So congratulations to Charles Rosa. I absolutely thought he deserved this win. And let's see what he can do next. Andre Fili versus Charles Durden. Man, this was a tough one right here. Charles Jourdain clearly wins the first round when he knocks down Andre Fili. So we go into the second round. This one was also close, but I thought Andre Fili outlanded Charles Jourdain just a little bit, just enough. He had just a little bit more on his strikes. So we go into the third round, and Andre Fili clearly wins this round. And so Andre Fili gets the decision. So I thought that Andre Fili won this fight. A lot of people were talking after the fight that they thought Charles Jourdain won. I thought Andre Fili, pulled it out. I really did. I didn't think it was too close. I thought he won rounds 2 and 3. So I don't know what all the fuss is about, but you know what? If there's no fuss, there's nothing to talk about. Good fight, good win for Andre Fili. He wants a ranked opponent next. I'd like to see him get one. I really would. So we'll see what happens. Mark De La Rosa versus Jordan Espinoza. Man, this was a beatdown. I mean, it was. I like Mark De La Rosa. I think he's a good dude. He's a tough dude. That he could take a punch, and, he's just not ready for UFC caliber opponents. I mean, he's not. And Jordan Espinoza, man, he beat him in every single aspect of the fight. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, stand-up. I mean, he just walloped him, man. He walloped him. And it was a great win for Jordan Espinoza. I thought that, I thought it was a beatdown, and I thought he looked good doing it. It was an excellent performance by Jordan Espinoza. I thought every round could have been scored at 10-8. I mean, it was an excellent fight, an excellent performance, a great win against a tough dude. So, good job. Good job for Jordan Espinoza. We'll see what's next for him. I know that he needed to get that win badly, and he got it, and he looked good doing it. So, we'll see how he does next. Now, Maria Agapova versus Hannah Cyphers. I really thought I thought this was going to be a strawweight bout when I saw Hannah Cyphers on the card, and I don't know why I assumed that, but I just did, and it was a stupid assumption by me, because when they got in there, I was like, holy Jesus, this is crazy. And Maria Agapova, dude, she is an awesome striker. I mean, absolutely ruthless, and the way that she just jumped on Hannah Cyphers' back and submitted her, it was absolutely unbelievable. And she has the the funk, the charisma, that it factor, man. She does. And so I think that we are seeing the beginnings of a star in the making here. This girl can fight, and she has the charisma, that it factor that we need right now in the 125-pound division, because Valentina Shevchenko has everything, okay? Don't get me wrong. But we need somebody to rise up and give her a challenge, and we want them to have the whole package, right? We don't want them to just be a machine and go in there. We want them to have the whole package. And this person does. And so we'll see how she, progresses. Because I want to see what she can do. I mean, she looked absolutely fantastic against Hannah Cyphers, but let's be honest, Hannah Cyphers should be an atom weight. And she's fighting, she'll fight whoever. That girl's tough. But she looked good against, Hannah Cyphers there, and so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It was absolutely a great performance. And she has everything that you'd like to see in a young fighter. So we'll see what's next. Absolutely flawless. So I don't know if y'all seen this, but RDA, Rafael dos Anjos, has sent out a message to Conor McGregor challenging him to a fight, saying, hey dude, let's not do this retirement thing just yet. I'll fight you at 155, 165, or 170. You pick the weight class. I'll meet you in the octagon. You say when. And I thought this was so ballsy and so awesome of RDA. This dude, talk about a champion. And he's just saying, you want to fight. You're talking about being frustrated. We've had beef. We've wanted to do this in the past. Let's get out there and do it. Let's get out there and make something happen. Awesome. I love it. I want to see this. RDA, man, this dude's a legend. And, of course, I'd favor Conor in that matchup. I think Conor would sit him down. But, hey, RDA saying, don't forget about me, and I'll give you this opportunity. RDA saying, I'll give you this opportunity. And I love it, man. It's awesome. This is what we need right now. And I bet Dana White loves this matchup too. I'd say Uncle Dana would let this happen. So, I'd like to see what Conor McGregor says. So everybody's been talking about all these finishes in the small cage. And I will be honest, there has been a lot more finishes. I don't know if it has more to do with the small cage or more to do with the fans. You know, there's no crowd. And that has a lot to do with the fighters. I mean, it has to. Like, there's no audience. It's complete silence in there besides the corners and the commentators. And so, when there's no crowd, like, they can hear everything. You can hear a pin drop in there. When we're watching the fights at home, I mean, we hear everything in that arena. So, I believe that the crowd has the biggest effect on the fighters. Of course, the smaller cage for wrestlers has a huge effect. But I believe all of these crazy performances that we're seeing are more to do with the fighters being more relaxed. I really do. I think the fighters are in a more relaxed state, and so it's more like a sparring session to them. And so they're just nerve-free out there performing, you know, just nerve-free. When nerves are bad. I mean, it's just proven scientifically that nerves are bad. So when you have nerves, it affects your performance. Less of a crowd, less nerves, better performances. That's the way I see it. Dana White is saying that this, you know, smaller cage thing is all an illusion, which is complete horse crap. The smaller cage is going to benefit the wrestler. The better wrestler is going to help. Of course, that is duh. If there's less room in there to get away from the wrestler, and he can get you up against the cage, look at Khabib. It is going to benefit the wrestler. So, yeah. Smaller cage benefits the wrestler. No crowd benefits, you know, everybody besides like Tony Ferguson. It probably, you know, Tony Ferguson probably thrives in the crowd. You know, so yeah, that's my take on that. So let's talk about this Texas shooter real quick. Dana White was asked about what did he think of this Texas shooter. Was he a UFC fighter? Yada, yada, yada. Dana White doesn't know. Nobody knows yet. They haven't caught him. Dana White has over like 500 fighters on his roster. Look, guys, we don't know if this guy is a UFC fighter yet. I really do not believe he is. People say they're UFC fighters all the time, okay? Let's be honest. The chances of this guy being a UFC fighter are slim to none. He's probably a crazy person that said he was a UFC fighter to get some heads to turn so he would get some attention. He wanted attention. And that's, you know, that's what he wanted. Let's be honest. So, I don't believe he was a UFC fighter. He's obviously a terrible person, and I hope he gets caught, and I hope he gets the, you know, I hope justice is served. You know, people like this, only bad things come from people like this. So, yeah. What a terrible dude. What a terrible, terrible dude. Coach Kavanaugh reveals that when he gets a new fighter in his gym, he likes to check out their backside rather than their arms and their pecs to see if they got power. And when I saw this, I was like, man, this dude right here is weird. You know, this dude is a weird guy. But he said, you know, if they're got big arms and big pecs, then they're just ready to go to the beach. You know, if they got, you know, big backside, you know, big thighs, big legs, they got power. You know, they're ready to throw punches. So I see where he's coming from. You know, this guy he knows what he's talking about. Coach Kavanaugh knows what he's talking about. He's like the first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt out of Ireland. And, yeah, he's a legit coach. So, heed his advice. Heed his advice. So, Marvin Vittori can't get this guy out of here today. All right, this dude says Ian Heinisch is ducking him. I don't know if I believe him or not. Let's say he's being honest. And Ian Heinisch doesn't want to fight him because Ian Heinisch has worked hard to get into the rankings. This will be a tough guy. He's not ranked. Could be true. Could be true. But either way, he does say he wants a ranked opponent next. Marvin Vittori definitely deserves a ranked opponent next. I think Ian Heinisch would be a good fight. So, Ian Heinisch, Marvin Vittori, even though Ian Heinisch does have Brendan Allen next, I think. So, if something happens with that, let's see Ian Heinisch and Marvin Vittori go at it. I don't know if Ian Heinisch is ducking Marvin Vittori, but either way, that would be an excellent fight. Let's be honest here. All right, so we got some fights this weekend. Curtis Blaydes taking on Alexander Volkov. Man, this is going to be a good one. So Curtis Blaydes, of course, should win this fight. He should win this fight. He has the wrestling. He has so much improved striking. He has all the attributes. He should be able to win this fight. But Alexander Volkov, sneaky good man. If this guy is around in the 4th and 5th rounds, beware. He could pull an upset. This could be upset alert right here this weekend. So I'm going to pick the upset in Volkov, even though I know that Curtis Blaydes should win this fight. I'm going to pick the upset in Volkov, just because I know how good Volkov is, and I know that, you know, Curtis Blaydes, man, he has all the tools. Everything is just lined up perfectly for him to come in here and win. Volkov, man, for some reason, this guy just hangs around. And the dude's a killer. He's got all the tools. You know, he was on the ground with Fabricio Verdum and didn't get submitted. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only bad thing about Volkov was the Derek Lewis loss. Like, he was completely just blowing Derek Lewis out of the water, and then Derek Lewis throws this Hail Mary fucking just boomer of a hook and knocks him out. Like, you know, what are you going to do? That's Derek Lewis. But I guess I'm going to take the upset, man. We'll see if Volkov can get it done. So I can't believe I'm doing that, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. Man, this is going to be a banger. Fight of the night written all over it. I like Shane Burgos to come in here and get it done. I really do. I think that, you know, he's got momentum. He's got the tools. Josh Emmett, he pulled that one out, you know, against Michael Johnson. You know, he was losing that fight. He comes in and gets that knockout. He's just gone through a lot, and I don't think he's been the same since the Jeremy Stevens loss. I really don't. He just has not looked the same. And we'll see if he can go in here and get it done against Shane Burgos. But I don't think that Josh Emmett... Prove me wrong. Let's see what happens. If Josh Emmett can go in here and beat Shane Burgos, because I think Shane Burgos is really, you know, an elite featherweight. I think the dude can compete at the top of the weight class right now. And so if Josh Emmett can beat Shane Burgos, then yeah, the dude is back. And he deserves, you know, to fight the elite of the elite. But for some reason, he just has not looked the same to me since the Jeremy Stevens loss. So we'll see what happens here. And But I'm taking Shane Burgos in this one. The dude is just, he's the total package, and I think he's the dark horse of the featherweight division right now. So we'll see. Next up, we have Raquel Pennington versus Marion Renault. You know, Marion Renault will have the advantage on the ground. I think Raquel will be able to hang with her on the ground enough to get out of some tricky situations and get it back up on the feet. But, you know, other than that, I think Raquel Pennington has the advantage everywhere else in this fight. So I am going to go with Rocky Pennington to get the win in this one. Let's see if she can make weight. You know, I know she has been struggling with, you know, she has had weight issues in the past. Let's just be honest here. So we'll see if she can get in there and make weight. If she makes weight, then I'm picking her to win. If she doesn't make weight, then I'm going to go with Marion Renault to get the upset. So, yeah, let's just leave it at that. If Raquel Pennington makes weight, then I'm picking her to win. If she doesn't, then I'm taking Marion Renault to get the upset. Next up, we have Belal Muhammad versus Lyman Good. Man, let me tell you right now, this one right here could be fight of the night too. This is a great card. This whole card is good. So Belal Muhammad versus Lyman Good. Let me say this. I think Lyman Good is going to end up being like the Robbie Lawler of the welterweight division. He's like this generation Robbie Lawler, okay? He has bad intentions with everything he throws. He does not mess around in there. Everything, every second of him being in that octagon, he wants to just lay you out. That is it. He wants to lay you out. So I'm taking Lyman Good because everything, every thought, every second of him being in that octagon is bad intentions. And that's my kind of fighter. Lyman Good all the way. See if I'm right. Alright, this next one, this is like the old guard passing it to, you know, the next generation, the younger guard. And it's Roosevelt Roberts versus Jim Miller. You know, I love these guys. I love them both. But I'm picking Roosevelt Roberts. He's been fighting active. This is going to be like his third fight this year, I think. And Roosevelt Roberts, man, the dude is... He's a gamer, man. You know, he wants to win. He comes in there to get the job done every time. Like, you know, he's about money. He has it tattooed on him. And, you know, he might be biting off more than he could chew here, okay? He might be doing that. I don't know. It might be it. You know, Jim Miller, the dude is the real deal. But I think Roosevelt Roberts is ready. I might be wrong. I might be coming back next week and being like, guys, I was wrong. And I'll be ready to admit that if I am. But I'm taking Roosevelt Roberts. I'm picking him to come in here and to get the job done against Jim Miller, who is a vet. This is going to be like his 30-something UFC fight. You know, the guy's been around forever. He's been battling Lyme disease for years. So let's see if Jim Miller can get the job done. And, you know, I'm not laughing at him battling Lyme disease for years. I'm just laughing that this guy has just been attacked by everything, and nothing can take this guy out. So I think that Jim Miller is just, you know, let's see. Let's see if I'm wrong. I think that Roosevelt Roberts is going to get the job done, though. I really do. And that's it, guys. That is it. You know, subscribe for more MMA content. Remember to give this video the thumbs up. It really helps out the channel when you do. And we will see you guys in the next one.